Good morning, everybody. We're out here in the apiary today. It's October the 13th. We're trying to reduce the size of our hives, pull what little honey that we've got in supers off, and just overall get them ready to go into wintertime. We're gonna reduce their size of their hives now. Probably once they've calmed down in the next couple of days, we're gonna hit them with some oxalic acid. We've got a low threshold of mites that we got to try to take care of. So for the next couple of weeks, we'll be giving them oxalic acid. And then probably mid-November, we're going to come back and we're going to do some experimentation and try to figure out whether we want to put just, straight sugar on the tops of these things or sugar candy, or kind of what we're going to do to feed them to get them through the winter. Last year we had pretty good luck. We didn't lose any hives over the winter time, and I think a lot of that's probably contributed to the sugar that we fed them last year going into wintertime. They had plenty to eat. They got plenty of honey down in the supers. So they've got all the resources they could possibly need, hopefully, to get them through this winter. So that's what we're doing today.
Tell them what we're pulling this off of.
So we're pulling the honey right now out of the flow hive that I had major doubts about. All the stuff's going to get strained once we get back in there, but the first year we got this flow hive, they didn't really want to go up into the supers and wax it and cap it off.
Probably our fault. We didn't have them waxed very good.
That's true. So this is year 2 on this flow hive, giving it a try. We caught a random swarm this spring. Really didn't have any other boxes to put them in at the time, so we threw them in the flow hive, and man, they have, to be honest with you, it's probably the best colony that we have in this flow hive. The numbers are big. They're slapping honey in here just as fast as they can. The true test will be this winter to see if there's, last year we were able to, like I said, keep all of the other colonies we had alive in the other boxes that we had, the Langstraw. So I don't know, these bottom 2, they're like normal Langstraw, so hopefully it'll all be okay. We'll just have to see. But all the other honey that we've got are in frames that have to be spun out. We got to go inside and do that here in a minute. We're going to get 1,000 tools dirty with honey, and we're just going to have a huge mess inside this flow hive. I mean, we're still going to strain this stuff. I see little particles of wax and stuff in there. We're still going to strain it. You don't have to, I don't guess, but we're going to strain it to make it a little bit more clear. But I mean, we're not getting any other tools dirty. I mean, this is it. So kind of open it up and let it flow out into a jar, and you're good. You don't have to worry about all that stuff. Now, is the cost of the flow hive, does it, worth not having to do all that? I don't know. You could buy 10 normal Langstraws for what you pay for this flow hive.
If you had the money and you were just doing this as a hobby for your family and just collecting a few jars, it would probably outweigh the work.
Okay. If you're out there right now and you're thinking, man, I think I'm going to get some bees and see what that's like, I would say do not go out and spend
$1,400 on a flow hive.
Yeah, don't. Because here's the deal. When springtime comes back around, your colony is going to want to split. You're going to want to make splits. You're going to catch swarms. Like, you're not going to have 6 flow hives in your apiary that probably, I don't know, unless just money's not an object for you. So if you're thinking about starting, and you don't know whether it's going to work out, or you just kind of want to get your feet wet with it, I would definitely recommend spending $60 to $80 on a normal 2 deep 1 super Langstraw hive. Give it a try with that and see what happens. And if it's something that you enjoy doing, if it's something you can keep up with, there's a whole lot of time put into doing this stuff. So that's the biggest thing that you hear from people. It's like, oh yeah, I want to do bees. I think that's awesome. Yeah, great. Well, they don't see the amount of time out here doing checks and doing mite checks and keeping up with how much room they have left and when to add them. You can't just come out here with double deep and stack supers on top of it. You kind of got to keep up with their progress and figure out when they need all that stuff. And
let's be honest, so there are beekeepers out there that they get bees, they slap them in a hive, and they don't do anything with them. They don't check them. They're not in their box enough. And that's where I was getting at, is if you're one of those that you're just doing it to do it, you're not going to be in them all the time. You don't have the time to be in them, and you've got the money. this would be an option. You know, you stick them in there. The people that stick them in there and forget about them. I'm not saying that's the right way to do it. That's not how we do it. But you know, there are people that do that. This would be a route that they could take. We're gonna switch over, close this one down, switch to our next one. You want to explain this?
All right, you ready? Yeah. All right, so we're moving on to our next one. This flow hive, the way that it works is it's got pre-made chambers, pre-made comb in the supers. And so when you stick this rod in here, they're little hexagons. When you stick the rod in this lower piece, it's always good to do a little at a time. It breaks those hexagons open and lets the honey flow down the frame and out into your bottle. So if you'll give it a second, it'll all start kind of flowing out here. I've made a mess already, but here it comes out the tube. And that's it, man. You just, sorry about the AC unit, but you know, you got to check and make sure that it's all capped, that way you don't have too much moisture in it.
And that's the other downside to this flow hive is to check if they're all capped. You've got to pull those. These frames are not as easy as a Langstroth frame to get out, and so pulling them out to check to see what's capped and what's not is a little tougher than Langstroth. I mean, it's pros and cons all the way around.
But that's it. We're gonna pull whatever honey is available in these frames out, go inside, spin out all the capped honey that we've got that come out of the supers where we reduced them down, clean everything up, tuck everything away for the winter time, and then, like I said, we're gonna treat them with some oxalic acid over the course of the next couple of weeks. Maybe knock those mites down a little bit, and then probably starting in November, we're gonna start, you know, probably candied sugar or, you know, loose sugar on top of a board inside. That way it gives them a little bit of extra oomph going into wintertime.
Stay tuned.